Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun Talina. Today's Siman is Siman Kuf Mem Zayin in Orachayim 147. Talks about the mitzvah of Hagba and Galila. Used to be, there was only one mitzvah, it was called Galila. He picked up the Sefer Torah. He was strong enough to roll it himself. Nowadays we give the kibbutz to two different people. However, the person who does Hagba is really called a Golel, as is clear from all the commentaries. And the Gemara states that you're supposed to give Galila to the greatest person in the shul. And the reason the Gemara says is because the Golel is Makabel Schar Keneged Kulam, Keneged all the people in the shul. Galila is one of the biggest mitzvahs. You know, people, when they have bidding wars for the aliyahs, usually the highest price will be for Shlishi, or Shishi, or Mafti, or Hagba and Galila is not such a big thing. But in terms of value, the only one that says it's a good idea to auction off here, the Shulchan Aruch says, you should auction off Hagba and Galila, because that actually is a very important mitzvah. So my question was, it says he's supposed to give it to the greatest person, either the greatest Talmid Chacham, or if you're in a shul which values philanthropy, the greatest philanthropist, get the Rechnitz if he's there. So you're giving Hagba and Galila to the most important person. So he should makabel schar keneged kulam. Since he's the greatest person, so he should get the most schar. So even though I don't believe in socialism, but I think it's fair. I mean, people that are Bali Tshuva, they've had a tough time. They weren't brought up in the right way. So at least give them Hagba and Galila and get more schar. The other person, people that are born from, they have so much schar. Give it to them. So give it to the disadvantaged person. Why is the person? Why do the rich get richer? If you have an opportunity to give some schar to other people, give it to them. So the answer is, whenever Chazal keneged kulam, you have to understand what that means. Keneged kulam doesn't mean equal to the rest of them. The Gemara says the golel is makabel schar keneged kulam. Keneged all the people in the shul. No, it means that keneged kulam doesn't mean equal. It means it enables the rest of them to have schar. When the greatest person gets the greatest mitzvah, which is Galila, or Hagba and Galila nowadays. So when you get the greatest mitzvah, it enables everyone to get schar because they see the greatest person doing the mitzvah. It gives them more kibbud to the mitzvah, honor to the mitzvah. The greatest person is doing the greatest mitzvah. And therefore, people are influenced in a positive way, and they're going to fix their ways. They're going to do tshuva, they're going to fix their ways. So the makabel schar keneged kulam, it's hit by him doing it, enables other people to do other mitzvahs. Right? When we say Talmud Torah keneged kulam, right? Every morning, Talmud Torah keneged kulam, people think Talmud Torah is equal to the rest of the mitzvahs. That's not true. Why is Talmud Torah equal to the rest of the mitzvahs? I don't think that's what it means. Talmud Torah, so therefore, the Talmud Torah, 1 minute of Talmud Torah I learned is better than doing other 612 mitzvahs combined. Who knows? The Mishnayos elsewhere in Pirkei Avos say, you don't know, mitzvah kala gechamur, easier, hard mitzvah, you don't know which one has more schar. So how could the Mishnah or the Brisa and Peah say that Talmud Torah is keneged kulam? It doesn't mean that. It means Talmud Torah enables you to do the other mitzvahs. That by learning Talmud Torah, by learning about the whole Torah, then you can do the other mitzvahs. If you don't learn Torah, you can't do that mitzvah. That's the point of Torah. Unfortunately nowadays, people take Torah as its own mitzvah, and there's kedusha about learning Torah, the Shema, just learning Torah, not to do the other mitzvahs, just for the sake of learning, just for the sake of L'Shem Shamayim. But really, we have to recognize, all of Chazal say, the whole purpose of Torah is to learn about the mitzvahs. It's not so complicated. It's not so lofty. It's to practically, if we don't know the Torah, you can't do the mitzvahs. The highest level is to learn the Torah, to make the mitzvahs. Gdola limud and maybe le'maisa. The whole point limud is maybe greater than doing the action, is because it enables you to do many more actions. And if I have a choice to learn Torah or do an action, so if someone else is able to do the mitzvah, I learn Torah because the Torah enables me that little bit of Torah. I just learned one Shulchan Aruch over here. I can do a lot of mitzvahs. I can learn about a lot in a very short amount of time. So that's why Talmud Torah is great, because it brings you to do a lot of mice and to do the Torah in a more complete fashion. That's what I mean. Talmud Torah doesn't mean it equal the schar. We don't know the schar for all the mitzvahs. So it says shkula tzitzis keneged kulam, all the 613 mitzvahs. It doesn't mean that tzitzis is equal to all. What do you mean Torah? Which one is equal to all the mitzvahs? Torah or tzitzis? No, tzitzis is not any more important than any other 612 mitzvahs. Tzitzis is important because the idea is, when you, like the Gemara says, when you see your tzitzis, you recognize, it reminds you of the tcheles, it reminds you of the sea, it reminds you of the Shamayim, and it reminds you of Hashem. So when you're wearing tzitzis, it reminds you of all the other mitzvahs, just like Torah teaches you all the mitzvahs. Sisters remind you of all the other mitzvahs, and it propels you to do all the other mitzvahs. That's why it's so important. Shkula Kneged Kulam, it's invaluable because it helps you do other mitzvahs. It doesn't mean that it's more important than other mitzvahs. It's just unique in that it enables you and it gives you the motivation to do all the other mitzvahs. So that's why over here the goal is Machabel Skar Kneged Kulam. You give it to the greatest person because he'll have the greatest hashpah, the greatest influence on other people. They'll see the greatest person, the biggest Talmud Chacham getting the greatest mitzvah. People will say, "Wow, he's a great person. He's holding the Sefer Torah. He's lifting up the Sefer Torah. He's showing everyone the Sefer Torah. People pointing at the Sefer Torah. So they're going to be inspired to do more Torah mitzvahs." I think that's the idea, that when you give it to the gadol over here as opposed to giving it to someone who has less schar. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.